Toronto's an amazing city. There's so many great models doing really cool stuff, from go-go dancers just to models to sex workers and OnlyFans creators. It's a huge hub and it's super vibrant.
Today on Rainbow Country, a glimpse into Canada's gay porn industry with a spotlight on LoadCount Studios, Toronto's #1 production hub for triple X creators. And joining me to talk about LoadCount Studios and more is the founder, Connor. We'll get a glimpse into Canada's gay porn industry and so much more.
Hi, I'm Christopher Rice, and this is Rainbow Country with Mark Tara.
Connor, hi, how are you?
Hey, I'm great, thanks. How are you?
I am well. I am well. I have to say thank you so much for being here to have your voice, your story be heard by the LGBT community and beyond. So thank you for this. Connor, I appreciate it. Okay. Load Count Studios, Toronto's #1 production hub for triple X creators. Load Count Studios, I believe, is your company based in Toronto as well as in Puerto, Vallarta. So let's start here. When did you, Connor, start Load Count Studios? When did this all happen?
LoadCount Studios came second, actually, because the first company that I started back in 2021 was LoadCount Management. So if you remember back in the pandemic, everybody and their dog started an OnlyFans because everybody was at home and people were horny and people had stuff to do and they wanted to make money, right? Um, and I had a friend down in New York and he was a rope bondage dom and he had a library of content. And he messaged me because I have a background in graphic design and social media management. And he said, "Hey, can you edit my videos? Can you edit my photos? I want to start some fan pages." And I said, "Yeah, absolutely." So I started working with him in the pandemic for a while. And word started to get around in Toronto that I was editing videos and I was managing accounts. So I quickly gained a little roster of models, like locals, and I started managing their pages. And that's when I started Load Count Management. So it was a OnlyFans just for fans and Twitter management agency. Essentially, we would grow their accounts and bring in revenue for them. And because I was filming so much for these clients, I said, you know what, why don't I extract the production portion of this and add a studio to the business? So then Load Count Management existed over here where we did all the marketing. And then over here, I started filming for Load Count Studio. So that was kind of the inception of the studio.
And that was what, 2024?
No, that was probably late 2021, honestly, like, or early 2021, something
Okay.
around there. Yeah. Yeah.
So Load Count Studios, you guys do videography, you do editing, you do model management. Let's talk about those things. Videography. I'm assuming that you guys video your content, you also edit your own content. But here's the question. Do you license third-party content? Someone else is a creator somewhere. Would you guys potentially license something like that? Or is it all done in-house?
Yeah. All of our production is done in-house. And Load Count is a collab studio. So that's kind of like a new name that I've coined to describe our business model. Because unlike traditional studios where they pay two models to come in and they've never met each other and they both get a paycheck and they work the day, and then the studio owns 100% of the IP of the content and the models don't get anything, just a paycheck. We work in a way where the models find their own scene partners or collabs. Then they come to us and say, "Hey, can you produce this scene for us?" So we film it and we edit it and then we deliver it to all the models for free. And in return, all of us get to use the content on our own fan pages. So we all get to monetize it separately. So we use the content share model as opposed to exchanging money, kind of anywhere along the lines.
And when
Does
it
that
comes,
answer the question?
it sure does. And when it comes to model management, how does that work? What does that entail?
So any clients that we have, content is king, right? We need to keep their pages fueled and filled with collabs and solo videos and photos and photo shoots constantly. So our main goal with management is to help keep them on track with that. So we help them find collabs. We edit any of the collabs that they do. We send those to their scene partners. We coordinate release dates. We come up with sales strategies, and if we're running promotions and selling pay-per-view videos and in the direct messages, and we're basically a marketing team for their OnlyFans, Just for Fans, and X.
And when it comes to the models that you guys have and that you collaborate with, how do you source those models? How do you find them? How do they come to you? How does that work?
Twitter, I still can't call it X, even though it's been like a year and a half. Twitter/X is such an incredible hub for finding people. It is a very liberal site, and adult content is very unregulated, and it's not censored in the same way that it would be on like Facebook or a meta platform like Instagram. So just through my work, working with different models, and I've got all my spreadsheets and databases of people that I kind of find along the way, and I figure out what cities they kind of live in. Twitter's a really great place because you can search by, if someone's visiting a city, they usually put like, I am Raj, XXX, bracket Toronto, and then you can kind of filter and see who's in town that week, that weekend. And a lot of people just reach out to us because they know that we're based in Toronto. So they'll say, hey, I'm coming to town. Can you film stuff for me? Can you hook me up with some contacts? And then we're really great at sending them lists about like models that we work with really frequently. And we say, hey, yeah, check out these ones. We think you're going to vibe with these models. And then we produce stuff with them when they're in town.
So you just mentioned that you're based in Toronto. You also work out of Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Talk to me about that. You're based in Toronto, but Puerto Vallarta, how did that come about?
Puerto Vallarta came about two and
Because
a
of the
half years
weather?
ago. Because of the weather, honestly. I was dating a local down there for a while, and I was spending kind of the winters and the springs with him. And in my time in PV, we realized that there was such an untapped gold mine of opportunities down there because there's so many models that are in town for the weekend visiting. There's a lot of local talent, which is really fantastic down there. And there's a couple businesses in the city as well that really wanted to pursue their own fan pages, like creating content for their leather bar or their naked boat tours. So I kind of quickly tapped into how sexually free and active that city is. And
And
we just started
gay?
filming. And it's gay Disneyland down there, honestly.
And and so how has the response been when it comes to doing something like this in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico?
It's been incredible. Um, Ever since I started more actively working down there and getting to know the locals and photographers and videographers down there, um, a lot of really cool opportunities have popped up. So Just for Fans, for example, which is an amazing platform. They do so much for the community. They host different events throughout the year. So this past December, they hosted the first ever Collab Week, which just meant that 250 models flew down to the city and had a bunch of networking events and filming opportunities. And it was a really, really cool community event for everybody to kind of come together. And I think over the past couple of years, PV is starting to just come on the map of a destination place for people to go and realize that there's so much cool stuff to do down there and amazing places to shoot. And the vibe is just really great and vibrant. So PV's, yeah, definitely like starting to become a hub for all this stuff.
So LoadCount Studios is Toronto's #1 production hub for XXX creators. I mentioned that at the beginning. Congrats on that. But how did LoadCount Studios become Toronto's #1 production hub for XXX creators? How did this come about?
Honestly, in the pandemic, when we started doing all of this, the models that we were working with were just so ambitious and so hungry to work and pursue adult entertainment as a full-time job. And we just started shooting. Like we have probably filmed over 350 scenes to date over the past 5 years. And in those early days, I would just host scenes out of my apartment kind of thing. I live right in the village, Church and Wellesley. And we would just have like kind of a revolving door of models coming in, working with us, using our services. And we were just a production hub out of my living room. Honestly, I had like a very specific set of bed sheets that I would pull out and light some candles and kind of set up the studio. It's really great because fan content these days can be filmed anywhere. We've shot on rooftops and bathhouses and apartments and leather bars and basements and forests. And it's really great because there's so many opportunities. Like you don't need a full studio set and lighting and rigs and all this production because amateur content is really, really uh, prevalent in the industry right now.
And would you
So yeah,
say, and I don't mean to cut you off, but would you say that there is a vibrant, uh, like LGBT, gay porn industry in Toronto specifically?
in Canada, obviously Montreal is the hub because that's where the big, big studios are. And I've clocked probably around 70 to 90 professional content creators or models in Montreal. In Toronto, though, these days, we have about 130. So, yes, absolutely. Toronto's an amazing city. There's so many great models doing really cool stuff, from go-go dancers just to models to sex workers and OnlyFans creators. It's a huge hub and it's super vibrant. So, yeah, absolutely.
The name, Load Count Studios. How did this name come about? Is there a story behind it?
There is. So, back when I was figuring out the concept of what I wanted to do, and I had all of these people reaching out saying, "Hey, I need management, I need help," and I was like, I need a company, like I need a name, I need a, an identity. And because I have a background in graphic design, instantly my head went to like memorable logos and icons and that kind of stuff in the industry. And so I remember doodling in my little sketchbook, and I was like, oh wait, like the tally mark, like that's such a niche gay experience kind of fetish come dump icon. And so I've got this tally mark, which for those who know, in a lot of kind of fetish interactions, hookups, whatever, cum dumps happen. And there's usually like a Sharpie on a bed kind of thing. And as you come, you add a tally mark kind of thing. And because it was such a niche, unique icon, I was like, I feel like it's kind of like a if you know, you know type of thing. So that came first. And then I was like, load count, and then load count management, and then load count studios. And that was kind of the inception of the brand identity.
So, Connor, we're talking about the adult entertainment industry. I think it's fair to say that technology has really changed our lives. Ultimately, I think for the better. Uh, there are issues, of course, especially when it comes to social media, that sort of thing. But technology and the adult entertainment industry has really evolved together. Anyone with a smart device and an internet connection can essentially become a pornographer of sorts. What are your thoughts, because you are in this industry, what are your thoughts on how technology has evolved the industry? What are your thoughts generally?
I was having a really great conversation last night with a producer friend of mine, Ike Grande, and he shoots for Treasure Island and he's incredible. And we were talking just about how the shift from these gate kept studio business models where it was almost impossible to like break into the industry and you kind of had to be like handpicked and chosen. It was very exclusive, and how the studios really set they set what it meant to be attractive. They kind of dictated what hot meant, and it was typically cis white, hairless, muscled men, and that was kind of the way it was for a very, very long time. These kind of like unattainable body goals and these kind of porn stars that were treated and viewed as gods, kind of thing. And as the invent of these fan pages happened, accessibility to the industry just exploded. So you're right. Anybody with a smartphone, with a flip phone, anywhere can film their own content and monetize it and kind of pursue their own career. And that has opened the door for so many different people of different ethnicities and body sizes and gender identities that would never have access to pursue this kind of work in the past because it was so gate kept. So we've seen over the past 8 years bodies and people pursuing this that would never have this opportunity. And that's been so incredible for representation in the industry, managing some accounts. We've seen in the DMs people be like, wow, I've never seen someone that looks like me doing this. Like, and it's been such a cool thing to see just doors being broken down and the widespread effect that the fan pages have had on the industry and how we're reshaping what it means to be sexy. What is sexy? What does it even look like these days? Everybody is sexy. Like, why does it have to be this very specific look? So that's been probably the biggest shift over the past 10 years.
Mm. You just mentioned Treasure Island Media. A few years ago, I had the pleasure of interviewing Liam Cole, a director from Treasure Island Media. Uh, okay, a couple of years ago, I had the pleasure of interviewing the adult children of Gerard Damiano. Gerard Damiano wrote, produced, and directed the iconic porn film 1972's Deep Throat. Iconic film, Deep Throat.
Yeah.
Back then, two terms were coined: the golden age of porn and porno chic. The golden age of porn and porno chic. I don't think currently you can necessarily say that we're in a golden age of porn necessarily, but because of technology, do you think that we are in some sort of because everything is so ubiquitous, everything is so at your fingertips, do you think that we are in some sort of a digital, uh, a golden age of some sort, a digital sort of something when it comes to adult content, because it is so readily available?
Absolutely. Like I said earlier, I don't think there's ever been this many active, I'll call them porn stars or content creators in the scene at all, just because of the amount of accessibility. And with the imminent boom of AI that's coming our way too, we're absolutely on the threshold of explosive change once again. Um,
In what
there's
sense
so
do you see, AI evolving the porn industry again?
At the moment, we are seeing guardrails being lowered on AI platforms like Grok and ChatGPT. And there was just a couple weeks ago this big upset in the Twitter X community because Grok had now kind of allowed this adult content, these adult prompts to go through, where it was kind of like you would post a photo and then you would type, "Hey Grok, like make me shirtless or take off my pants or whatever," and nothing was like XXX, but the generative abilities of these platforms, they're so unregulated these days. And there was a big scandal because someone had prompted, I think it was an underage woman in a bikini or something, and then that was just insane because we never really seen that before with AI. So one, with the lowering of the guardrails, we're already starting to see so much AI generated, very lifelike adult content out there. And it's gonna, I feel like, very soon be indecipherable from the real thing. And we're moving towards a algorithmic fed um, machine of AI pornography that you can prompt and just say, this is what I want to see. I want to see you do this next. I want to see you move like this or do this activity. And I think we're also going to end up being fed like the Pornhub of just algorithmic stuff that it knows based off of your interests, but it's all adult content. You know what I mean? Like if you're
Mm-hmm.
into three ways, then
Mm-hmm.
you're going to see a
Mm-hmm.
big list of
Hmm.
make believe, yeah, adult stuff.
So, as you as a content creator, then are there things that you're doing to potentially future proof yourself? Like, are you trying to work more with models and let them know that there's they have a safe home and a safe harbor with yourself and Load Count Studios? Are there things that you're actively doing?
Yeah, last month with all of my models that we manage, we have monthly check-ins, and my big topic for December was, or January rather, was AI is coming. How can we adjust with the times and remain competitive in this new landscape? And I'd done a ton of research leading into it. And the biggest takeaways were AI is great at generating and it's great at spinning things back to you prompted. But the thing that's going to keep us relevant in the market is that one-on-one connection with the subscriber, with the fan, remembering details about them, really making them feel heard and seen and engaged with. And that comes through the history, not the history, the story that the models are bringing, opening up their lives to their fans and really giving them a glimpse into their own lifestyle and being really real and human and taking quick videos of the less sexy stuff, right? It's just like, hey, I'm walking to the store today and I've got a collab this afternoon. Hey, everybody can't wait until you see it. Like that kind of stuff AI can't do. And that human connection that they're going to have with their followers, we're trying to amp way, way up just because that's something that AI can't provide. And I told everybody that we should start treating these fans more like clients in the escort sense, how it's a very personalized
Hmm.
relationship instead of just we're putting content out into the void so people can just pay and watch it because that's what the AI is going to end up doing. So really doubling down on that human relationship is kind of the direction that we're headed in to stay future proof.
So for yourself as a content creator, what does your day to day look like? Explain what you do on a regular basis when it comes to running Load Count Studios. Map that out for us.
Absolutely. So dividing it into two, we've got the studio on this side and we've got the management agency over here. And my management agency has a bunch of account managers that directly work with the models and they do a lot of the scheduling and the uploading and the copywriting just to make sure that there's content being kind of fed. And they do sales to an extent as well. And we have a team of video editors that edit all of the collabs and the content that comes in. And my position is that I oversee all of the account managers and the editors. So my day to day is a lot of file management and coordinating model release dates and making sure that the editors have the content that they need to then go back to the account managers that needs to get posted. I do a lot of the high level strategy stuff. So we'll talk about their branding and their niche and what direction they're heading in and what types of content is being really asked of them in the moment. And on the management side, we also get into sales strategy and we talk about pay-per-views and engagement and teasers and what's going to do really well and should we do more solo videos. So it's a lot of kind of curating the content that the models are generating, and then I coordinate it between the team. So that's kind of my day to day. So it's a lot of emails and spreadsheets and file transferring and DMs to other models coordinating. On the studio side, for example, we kind of go through waves of busy times. Right now, I'm in Vegas this week at the GABNs, which has been an incredible opportunity. It's super, super fun. And we're in full production mode right now. I brought a second videographer with me named Wes, and he's been helping film a lot of collabs. And this week, the day to day is wake up in the morning, check the schedule, who are we shooting with? Do they know where we are, what time? Send them the consent forms, orchestrate the collab, whether I'm filming it or Wes is taking over, film the scene, have them over, paperwork gets done, the edit will get sent to them, coordinate a release date, and then that goes in our vault for the studio side because we also post that content on our own OnlyFans, Just for Fans, and X pages. So it's a lot of producer coordination these days. I mostly sit at my desk at Mission Control and send DMs coordinating stuff to other models. There's always fires to be put out.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a very administrative role at the moment, which is great, and I love it.
Okay, the Gavian Awards. These are awards given to the porn industry. The Gavians would be like for gay porn for the gay porn industry. Is Load because I was looking at this. Is Load Count Studios nominated at all this year, 2026?
At
Or
the
I guess it would be for
Gavians this year,
2025. I don't know.
yeah, we are not currently nominated for anything this year. Typically, these bigger award shows, one, focus a lot on American studios and content creators, and two, they really do go to the biggest of the biggest studios. So the men.com and the Carnal and Raging Stallion and the Falcon, like they kind of eat up 98% of the real estate in the award shows, which is great. And I always say that the more content that our industry puts out, the more representation just gets out there and the stronger that our industry becomes together. So I really have no qualms about the big studios taking up space. Um, Load Count has been nominated for a Grabby Award that we produced. So those are hosted in Chicago every May. That was last year. And we won an ICCA award, which is a brand new award show that happens in Puerto Vallarta every May as well. It was for Best Fetish Scene in collaboration with Casa Max, which is a company that I was working for. And we filmed this fetish scene in the kitchen, which was fun. But this year, yeah, Load Count isn't nominated for a Gavian, but I do have a couple clients that are up for nominations this year, which is cool.
Oh, well done. Well done. Okay. Making Canada a premier destination for adult content creation. 2024, Creator Con Canada was born. Creator Con Canada. What is Creator Con Canada?
CreatorCon Canada is a 3-day event held every August. This is the third year that we're doing it. And it is an opportunity for Canadian creators to be put on the map and have opportunities to create their own content, make their own connections, and strengthen our creator economy in the country. There are so many opportunities in the United States and in Europe for studio work and events like the GAVNs and the Just for Fans conference. And we really don't have anything like that in Canada. There are no opportunities for our community to come together, models to meet each other. And it's really sad and it is really unfortunate because we have so much incredible talent in our own backyard. So I created CreatorCon a couple of years ago as an opportunity for people to come together and just support our scene. It brings photographers and models, and I call them like XXX entrepreneurs, whether they're starting their own business or their own adult content platform online. It brings together so many cool people working in this sphere, and it gives us an opportunity to hang out at bars and bathhouses and go to Hanlon's Point. And it's a really cool opportunity for people to get in touch with Toronto as a city while also come together as Canadians.
And in 2026, when is it happening?
This is August 30th weekend.
Well done. Well done. For yourself, Connor, what's been the most challenging aspect or aspects of running Load Count Studios?
The most challenging aspects of running LoadCount Studios are kind of the same things that make it really cool, in that this career path, this sector of the industry is so unexplored. And by that, I mean that social media managers have existed as long as social media has been around, but porn social media managers, like that's a brand new thing. Figuring out how to create a business and make it run effectively and hire the right people and put them in the right spots with no blueprint or no precedence, because there are so few management agencies in the industry. That's been very challenging. So it's really been me bushwhacking my way day by day, figuring things out as I go. But in that same way, it's been extremely liberating because I can kind of build my business how I see fit. And I'm not locked into any kind of corporate structure that exists already. So the challenge has been, oh, I guess I need to hire a new person to do this very specific thing that is taking a lot of my time. And figuring out the business model aspect of that has been very challenging. But I have some really great friends in the industry that are very knowledgeable, and I consult frequently on how do I do payroll in this profit share, and I'm bringing in a new person, and I need to fit them in. So it's grown a lot. It went from a little bonsai tree to kind of a nice big shrub at this point. Uh, so that's been, yeah, challenging, but also really cool.
And is there anything or are there things that you can see Load Count Studios growing and developing even more, whether it's reaching out to more clients or models or creating different types of content? Are there things on your radar that you want to move into potentially?
Our next steps for load count in terms of scaling up, one will be tightening up the management agency. I do love keeping it very boutique sized. I'm never a fan of even acting talent agencies that have 100 plus clients. So I really do want to keep it still very tight and community oriented. So scaling up the management agency a little bit, taking on a couple more clients and account managers to kind of make that run. But as a whole, load count management studios, we our next big step is launching LoadCount University. That's our next big project. And it essentially takes all of the knowledge that I've gathered over the past 5 years of doing this as an account manager, producer, videographer, director, taking everything that I've learned and putting it into a course. So video editing and how to look better on camera for models and how to market your content better. And let's talk about branding. I sat down with IK Grande last night, and we were just watching a scene that he had filmed, and we were picking apart the angles that he was using and where he was kind of hovering. And it was such an interesting exercise for both of us. I just want to share all of my knowledge with the industry to help out new creators, established creators, and just drop tidbits and key pieces of learning that I've gathered over the past while to help people just run their accounts better and succeed in the scene. Because again, at the end of the day, like if one person is succeeding, we're all succeeding because we are such a small, marginalized community, and all representation is good representation for us. So sharing my knowledge with the community is kind of my biggest next step.
Connor, here's my last question for you, and it's simply this: best part about being part of creating and running Load Count Studios, best part?
The best part about running Load Count Studios and working in the industry as a whole is 100% the people that I get to work with. The clients that we have on our roster are the most generous, big-hearted, ambitious, kind people. And I would say for the most part, like I get to work with so many incredible models and creatives in this industry, whether it's photographers or other producers, directors. The vibe is so inherently good. And of course, there's bad apples in any scene, but I'm so grateful every time I go on a trip like this or I'm working at a content house, just the community aspect and how everybody comes together in just such a cool, positive way. There's not a ton of toxicity in the circles that I run in. And it is so great to be in an area where you're surrounding yourself with like-minded people that are as motivated as you, and you're all working towards the same goal, running the same race, but not against each other. So that's the thing that keeps me going day to day, is just knowing that I get to show up to work and be surrounded with incredible people. That's my absolute favorite part about running load count and working in this industry.
Well said, well said. Connor, well said, well done, well filmed, well produced, well created. Congrats on your award-winning Canadian porn production house, Load Count Studios. Well done to you. Thanks for your time. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. This was incredible.